Good morning. I hereby call to order this sixth meeting of the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission for the year 2016, and I ask that you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First, let me welcome back our Secretary, Rosemary Chiavetta. She's doing well. Good to see you back. So our first matter on this morning's agenda is the minutes of the meeting of March 10th, 2016, and I would recognize Vice Chairman Place as the editor.
Thank you, Chairman. I've reviewed the minutes of the March 10th, 2016 public meeting and move that they be approved as submitted.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the minutes by Vice Chairman Place and a second by Commissioner Coleman. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0. Next, we would ask our Director of the Office of Special Assistance to, lead us through our agenda for today.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
May it please this Honorable Commission, on behalf of your various offices and bureaus, we present for your consideration and disposition the following agenda items. Commencing this morning with matters on behalf of the Commission's Bureau of Audits, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the recommendation appearing on page 1 to release the audit report of Citizens Power Company's Energy Education and Services Program for the 12 months ended 12/31/14.
Do I have a motion to accept the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. Motion by Commissioner Whitmer, second by Commissioner Powson. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Turning now to matters presented on behalf of the Office of Special Assistance, commencing on page 2 of the public meeting agenda. It is recommended that the Commission adopt in omnibus fashion the recommendations commencing with the appointments to the Pennsylvania Relay Service Advisory Board of A.K. Tyberg and the Commission's very own Dan Ramage, and continuing with the recommendations in the proceedings involving the formal complaint of Dauphin County Industrial Development Authority versus PPL Electric Utilities Corporation, as well as all items appearing on page 3 and through and including the first item at the top of page 4 in the proceeding involving Brian T. Fetter, trading as BT Fetter Trucking.
Do I have a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coleman, second by Commissioner Powson. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
In the proceeding involving Sprague Operating Resource LLC's petition for reconsideration, there is the motion of Vice Chairman Place.
Do I have a motion to call up the staff recommendation for consideration?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Whitmer, second by Commissioner Powson to call up the staff recommendation. And with that, I would recognize under discussion Vice Chairman Place for a motion.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like my statement entered into the record as if I'd read it in its entirety. Before the Commission is the petition for reconsideration and application to abandon of Sprague Operating Resources, LLC, of the Commission's order canceling Sprague's electric generation supply service license. Sprague received a license from the Commission to provide services as a broker-marketer in Pennsylvania, and as such was required to have a bond in the amount of $10,000 to satisfy its security requirements. By secretarial letter in 2013, the Commission notified Sprague that the expiration of its bond would occur on January 2014, and that Sprague must file a proper financial security with the Commission in order to maintain its EGS license, and that failure to do so might result in the cancellation of its license. The Commission further notified Sprague by an additional secretarial letter that it must file an original financial security with the Commission, and that failure to do so might result in cancellation of its EGS license. The secretarial letter was returned to the Commission as undeliverable. In July of 2015, the Commission entered a tentative order which provided that, absent the filing of adverse public comment or an approved security within 30 days after publication of the Pennsylvania Bulletin, Sprague and certain other EGS licensees would have their licenses canceled. The Commission forwarded this tentative order to Sprague. However, it was returned as undeliverable. The day before the tentative order was published in the Pennsylvania Bulletin, Sprague filed an application to abandon with the Commission. The application stated, "Please let this letter serve as notice to the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission of Sprague Operating Resources LLC's intent to withdraw, abandon its license as an electric broker marketer in the state." There is no record of any contact by the Commission with Sprague relating to this application. Subsequent to the reception of the application to abandon, the Commission once again sent the tentative order to Sprague at another address. This document was not returned to the Commission. In the Commission's final order, we stated that the tentative order had become final by operation of law, and the EGS license held by Sprague was canceled, as Sprague had not filed an adverse comment or proved security within 30 days after publication of the tentative order in the Pennsylvania Bulletin. There was no mention of Sprague's application to abandon that had been filed prior to the tentative order's publication. Sprague filed a timely petition for reconsideration in September 2015, which included copies of a bond for $250,000, exceeding the $10,000 required for broker marketers, which covered the entire period when Sprague was a licensed broker marketer, and which would expire in January 2016. In January 2016, Sprague filed a continuation certificate for the same bond until January 2017. The petition for reconsideration is predicated on the assertion that Sprague had a bond in place, although it was not on file with the Commission during the period in question, that Sprague had no Pennsylvania customers during the period in question, and that Sprague's failure to file the bond and to respond to the Commission's many communications was a matter of administrative inadvertence. Although I do not find these arguments persuasive, I believe that under the Dueck standard, we should grant the petition for reconsideration, as the Commission had not considered the filed application for abandonment prior to the entry of the final order. Given that, I would grant the petition for reconsideration. The Commission will therefore consider the application for abandonment pursuant to the criteria contained in our regulations, as the application is no longer moot. Sprague shall continue to comply with all applicable laws and regulations while this application is pending. The tentative order shall be held in abeyance with respect to Sprague pending consideration of the application for abandonment. Should the application not be granted, the Commission shall take further action on the tentative order with respect to Sprague as is necessary. Therefore, I move that the petition for reconsideration be granted and the application for abandonment be duly considered as provided by this motion, and that the Office of Special Assistance prepare an order consistent with this motion. Thank you, Chairman.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Vice Chairman Place to amend the staff recommendation, and a second by Commissioner Whitmer to that motion. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Yes, thank you.
Vice Chairman Place.
I must recognize the staff's efforts in policing EGS bond requirements. The Commission has, time and again, given EGSs who fail to comport with these requirements every opportunity to comply. The process adopted by the Commission allows for flexibility and protects the public. Frankly, the Commission should not have to be expending scarce administrative resources to make sure that each and every EGS file fulfills its respective regulatory responsibilities. Thank you.
Any further discussion on the motion to amend? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion to amend the staff recommendation passes 5-0. We're going back to the staff recommendation as amended by Vice Chairman Place's motion. Is there any discussion on the final vote? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Continuing with the presentation of agenda items on behalf of the Office of Special Assistance, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the staff recommendation appearing at the bottom of page 4 in the proceeding involving Alexander Solovey versus Pico Energy Company, and continuing with the recommendations on page 5 through and including the recommendation in the proceeding involving Columbia Water Company Supplement Number 76 to eliminate the PennVest surcharge and decrease rates to its Marietta Division customers.
Do I have a motion to adopt staff recommendations?
So moved.
I heard two. I heard Commissioner Coleman. Commissioner Whitmer, would you like to be the second?
Happy to.
Okay. Excuse me, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Turning now to matters presented on behalf of the Bureau of Technical Utility Services, commencing on page 6 of the public meeting agenda. We recommend the adoption of the first 3 items appearing on page 6 through and including the recommendation of the application proceeding involving Alpha Energy LLC.
Do I have a motion to adopt the staff recommendations? Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Powelson, second by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
It is recommended that the Commission adopt the staff recommendation in the proceeding involving the review of Columbia Gas of Pennsylvania, Inc.'s long-term infrastructure improvement plan.
Do I have a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Motion by Vice Chairman Place, second by Commissioner Powelson. Under discussion, any discussion? I do have a statement to make. I just wanted to take the opportunity to commend Columbia for the results of its LTIP. This review shows that Columbia was 6% ahead in main replacement and 22% ahead in service replacement for 2013 and 2014 calendar years. Further, a comparison of projected and actual costs showed that the company's expenditures were 18% below figures projected in the approved plan for 2013 and 2014. And I think with these results like this, it shows that we have a lot to go in terms of moving ahead and safer distribution systems. But with LTIPs like this, we are definitely making some inroads, and I just want to commend them for this LTIP.
And if I may, I'd also like to be associated with the chairman's statement. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Continuing to page 7 of the public meeting agenda, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the first 2 recommendations involving the application proceeding of Utmost Inc., as well as the application proceeding of Central Energy Northeast LLC.
Do I have a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Motion by Commissioner Whitmer, second by Commissioner Powelson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
It is recommended that the Commission adopt the staff recommendations in the next 2 proceedings involving the Frontier Communications of Breezewood LLC, Canton LLC, Lakewood LLC, Oswego River LLC, and Pennsylvania LLC, as well as Commonwealth Telephone Company, DBA Frontier Communications, Commonwealth Telephone Company's 2016 Joint Price Stability Index / Service Price Index report filings and accompanying tariff filings, noting your statement, Madam Chairman, with regard to each of those recommendations.
Do I have a motion to adopt staff recommendations?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Vice Chairman Place, second by Commissioner Whitmer. Under discussion, I would like to offer my usual statement for Frontier cases that I will be recusing myself from this matter because my brother is employed by Frontier Communications, for both of those cases. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0, noting my recusal.
Continuing with recommendations presented on behalf of the Bureau of Technical Utility Services, page 8 of the public meeting agenda, in omnibus fashion, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the staff recommendations, commencing with the recommendation to register the securities certificate involving West Penn Power Company, continuing through the remaining items on page 8, as well as the first item at the top of page 9 of the proceeding involving the application to discontinue and abandon service of NextLink Wireless, Inc.
Do I have a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Motion by Commissioner Coleman, second by Commissioner Powelson. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
And on behalf of the Commission's Office of Administrative Law Judge, it is recommended that the Commission adopt ALJ Hass's recommended decision in the proceeding involving Allied Utility Services, Inc., as well as the recommendation of ALJ Heap in the initial decision involving Elaine Robinson versus Pico Energy Company.
Do I have a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. Motion by Commissioner Whitmer, second by Commissioner Powson. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Madam Chairman and Commissioners, that does conclude the presentation of agenda items.
Thank you. Before adjourning, I'd like to recognize Commissioner Coleman for some comments.
Well, thank you, Chairman. And as all of you know, April is Safe Digging Month, and so we are here again this morning to announce Safe Digging Month. And we are delighted to be in receipt of the Governor's proclamation for Safe Digging Month. There are a couple of pieces in the Governor's proclamation that I just wanted to highlight this morning. And this is relating to really the technology behind the 811 program, and this is the Pennsylvania One Call organization located in West Mifflin. In the Governor's proclamation, he identifies One Call in saying, whereas the Pennsylvania One Call system, a utility service information center celebrating over 44 years of continuous service in the Commonwealth, is key to preventing injuries and damage when digging. If you have not had an opportunity to have an interaction with the One Call organization, I would highly recommend it. What these folks do is remarkable. On an annual basis, they respond to 750,000 notifications to the One Call system, and they issue what is called a ticket to each of those facility owners. So each year they issue over 6 million tickets. 6 million tickets to those utility owners to mark their utilities in the ground. So I think it's a remarkable work for what the Pennsylvania One Call system does on an annual basis. There's another side to the One Call story, and those of you who have been around for a few years know that this has been a priority for this commission, a legislative priority for this commission, and a priority for me. I believe that probably the most important thing that we do as regulators is to deal with safety issues, and believe that this is certainly one of those. The unfortunate story of One Call is that on an annual basis, there are more than 6,000 hits to underground utilities. Those are the documented hits to utilities. Of course, there are those that happen that don't get documented into the system. So I would offer that there's probably more to the story that we don't know. This priority of ours has been focused on enforcement and realizing that there are probably some ways that this law can be enhanced from an enforcement standpoint in order to change behavior. And in changing behavior, we believe that we can reduce those line hits. So we have established a goal, if that enforcement responsibility were to come to the commission, that we believe that we could reduce line hits by 50% by the year 2020, which I think is a pretty significant, pretty aggressive goal, but certainly obtainable by what we're proposing in legislation. This, unfortunately, has been a 5-year exercise, so I know my colleagues are weary of hearing me. This was then Chairman Powson who gave me this responsibility to see if we could advance this piece of legislation, and regrettably, I am still here 5 years later advocating for the same. As we've said during our House appropriation hearing, it's complicated. And perhaps I was a bit naive at the beginning of this process to realize that there were so many different forces in play. And here we are today still trying to resolve some of those issues. And a lot of them focus around the exemptions in the law. And unfortunately, those exemptions have resulted in Pennsylvania losing grant funding to enforce the One Call legislation. Additionally, and more importantly, is that those exemptions have resulted in fatalities. And we believe that those exemptions need to come out of the law. We are bullish about that, and contrary to what some have reported, this commission is firm. We are not interested in seeing those exemptions remain in the law for the reasons that I've stated. So it remains a legislative priority, and I am optimistic that that next year at this time, when hopefully I am here for this this announcement and the governor's proclamation, that I will have good news to report to you in terms of enforcement of the one-call law. So thank you to all of you for your patience and support, and thank you to all of you who have done all of the promotion for the 811 program and have gone about your business in a very safe way. That's good for all of us. It's good for facility owners. It's good for all of the residents of Pennsylvania in terms of safety and in terms of cost. So thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Commissioner Coleman. Vice Chairman Place.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I would certainly want to show my gratitude, and I think the gratitude to the Commission for all the work that Commissioner Coleman has done on this. His perseverance in this over 5 years has been extraordinary, and we're not at the end yet, but perhaps if I would quote Churchill's line about this is not the end of the beginning or the beginning of the end. It's, oh, I got that backwards. This is not the end nor the beginning of the end, but the end of the beginning. Did I get that right? Well, yeah, it's there's many quotes of Churchill. Maybe I have to bone up on them. But regardless, yeah, as John noted, this has consequences. Fatalities. It does slow down. It has the potential to slow down natural gas development in the Commonwealth. As a farmer before I came here, as working in the natural gas industry before coming here, I see no excuse for having exemptions to 811. Absolutely fundamental on that. And so again, I want to congratulate John for his perseverance on this, and let's get this thing to this finish line. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me to add my remarks in terms of the work that Commissioner Coleman has done. I've been working with him as well on this, and I see the passion behind it, and I just want to make sure that you don't get weary. We are not weary of hearing about this because we know the need to have one call under our jurisdiction, so we want to make sure we're there to support you as you support the Commission on this effort. So thank you very much for all the work that you've done. Any other comments?
Madam Chair, on a lighter note, I told Mike McCarthy I'd do this, and it really hurts me, but tomorrow at 1 o'clock, there'll be a parade in Philadelphia for Villanova Wildcats National Championship. For the tuition that I pay at my son's school, they gave them the day off, so I will be taking a group to Center City, Philadelphia tomorrow after my lunch meeting to celebrate and bask in the glory of the Augustinian School on the main line. And Mike, I know that really hurts to bring that up as a fellow St. Joe's Hawk, but you did remind me you went to Villanova Law School. So, but I think it would, I would be remiss in not congratulating Coach Jay Wright. And speaking of congratulations, Commissioner Coleman, I apologize for the 5-year effort that I put on you, but I knew back then, and we all know now, that if we want something to get it over the goal line, you pick a guy from Center County to get it done. So, and I think Andrew Place said it best, that perseverance that you've shown in dealing with all the different political actors, and the work and the support within the commission from people like Paul Metro and others. I couldn't think of a better person to lead the effort, and I want to applaud you for your perseverance. This is so important to the state and this commission. And if the Secretary of Labor and Industry is listening to this broadcast today, we'd kindly remind her that we are the better equipped agency to deal with gas safety, as L&I is well equipped to deal with workplace safety. I'll end on that note.
Thank you. And if nothing else, the meeting is adjourned.